Okay, so we are at CFB Borden, which is a little bit north of Toronto, and we're in one of the back rooms here with the restoration shop. And one of the restorers here is Dave.
Dave Thompson.
And he's going to tell us a little bit about what is being restored. It is German, and I suspect his t-shirt might have something to do with it. Well, I guess kick off. Tell us why you are restoring this particular vehicle out of all the ones you have here, and what are your troubles?
So this one here is one of two in the world. The other one is in Kiel, Germany. And that's the rarity of this vehicle, is because that's what we chose. So 24th of October 2016, we got permission to bring the Flakpanzer in. So we brought it in with the help of the REME school. And we started the restoration project. We only work every other weekend, and on that it's only Saturdays that we work. We're all volunteers.
How many of you are there?
Roughly about 15 of us, 15 to 20 of us. And so we only work every other weekend.
What equipment do you have to do anything like scaling or welding or repairing?
So this, as you can see here, you can see on the left-hand side here is the original centerpiece where the fuel tanks and that were in the Panzer IV chassis. Because it's rotted out, we took it out, and a company in Barrie here, Barrie Welding, actually manufactured this one for us.
Did they charge you?
No, it's a donation. So really helpful on that side of the house. Being a volunteer, totally non-profit organization, it's, that's having donors and that's really, really great for us.
Where are you getting some of the other spare parts?
So right now, what we've done is we've mocked up the bow mount, machine guns and that. We're taking this down to Oshawa for a Kino tank fest this weekend. And we do have an MG34 armored barrel or machine gun that's going in this, so we'll have this down there complete with it. And we have the complete mount. So we're doing that, and we have the chassis and Panzer IV. It's a combination because of where it was in the war. It was a Aus J and an Aus H version. There's some things on it that are slightly different. We do still have Zimmerit on it. The other side actually has a bit more Zimmerit, original Zimmerit, and we will be actually taking that Zimmerit and scaling our new Zimmerit as well back onto it.
You have all the wheels?
We have all the wheels. Again, that's 75-year-old rubber. It's Buna S rubber. Some of them have Continental inscription written right on them.
How do you divide up your work?
So we've divided up into chassis and turret amongst a couple of the guys. So we have a heavy diesel mechanic. We have a materials technician, welder, machinist, and that. And you can see some of the stuff that we have in the back. And we've got a few more tools, machines that are coming in as well. Some of the guys, most of us are different backgrounds. There's only about 3 of us that are military that are on the project. I'm one of them. So we try to divvy up the work by your skill set and that. Amazing enough, we have a 16-year-old, and I'll mention him, his Matthias, a 16-year-old that wants to become an engineer. And what he's been doing is actually taking a micrometer, tape measure, and a ruler and measuring everything, and then putting it into a student CAD system and CADing it.
You should email Hilary Doyle.
So it's on the back of there, but I do have some pictures of his stuff, and I can show you that as well. Huh. Amazing work this guy is doing, and really proud of him.
I can put him in contact.
So Superstructure, the upper Superstructure, we've pulled it off. We've pulled off the turret ring and that. One of the things that we're having difficulty with it right now is the ball bearings that are in the race ring or turret ring. It doesn't turn, so we got to figure out how to get those ball bearings out. And we're off about 1.5 feet or so to where we need to get them out.
Oh yeah, those
they're rusted in there.
Those
really
aren't gonna be rolling anytime soon.
No. So we know the serial number on this, on the superstructure, is different than the serial number on the chassis. So what we've concluded is that this vehicle actually got hit because whirlwinds were not made unless Panzer was hit. So we know it at least, we figure 3 times it's been hit. There's a plug at the front, on the front glacis, as well on the second support arm, you can see a plug there, and on the inside you can actually feel the bulge.
Oh, right, yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah, and on you can see it on the inside
Oh, yeah.
there. And if you look down the sidewall, you can see that little warp. We know as well, so a couple of the road wheels that we have holes in them. So we figured it was hit again because you can see the ricochets up along here. And on the turret, which is in behind the Leopard 1, in behind here, there's a couple holes, there's a hole right through it. And that's where one of the loaders would have been sitting. There's a hole about this big through that side there.
Are you going to go for a cosmetic or a full running restoration?
I don't have cosmetic in my vocabulary on this. This is a full restoration, running, and actually want to get it running and shooting the guns and acquiring the guns as well.
Propane or live ammo?
Live rounds.
Oh, I like you.
Yeah, no, we talk about it and I said, we gotta stop using cosmetic because I don't think it's worthwhile doing cosmetic. I think it's far better if we do actual full restoration on this. It's way better.
Yeah. To be clear, this vehicle is the property of the Canadian Forces, not a privately owned.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it belongs to the museum itself. So this is one of the vehicles that was brought back in '45 with Farley Mowat. So he was a Canadian author. He wrote about 40 books. One of the most known one is Never Cry Wolf. It was turned into a movie by the same name. So he was a captain in the Canadian military through the Italian campaign with the Hasty Peas. Then went in officer, went Northwest Europe. While he was there, he went in officer. He noticed the Allies were picking up equipment. He talked to his superiors. They said, yeah, go ahead. This is one of the vehicles that he picked up. The Jade Panther 38T is as well. This one was found in an equipment collection dump just outside of Bremen, Germany. The other one, the Jade Panther 38T, was actually found on the road between Meppen and Lingen on the Meppen Road, still running with a coolant leak. The Jade Panther that's at the War Museum in Ottawa, that's one of the ones that he had as well. I think one of the funniest stories that we've noted is the story in the V2 rocket that he actually brought back. The Allies had one, I guess it was the British that had one. The story goes on a train. His guys went down with the demijohn, his captain, got them drunk. They brought their lorry in, they pushed it on it, took off. He woke up in the morning, there it is, go hide it. And they actually disguised it as an experimental submarine, so they put a conning tower on it and everything else, painted it up, and got it on board the ship and shipped it back to Canada.
Something similar happened with the Yugoslav war. We had to paint them up as Greek vehicles to import them.
Right.
So where is the funding coming from then for all this?
So the funding for this is, so what I'm wearing right now is one of our shirts, our golf shirts. So we sell our golf shirts, we have ball caps. It's our own funding. It's donation based or buying our product.
Do you have a GoFundMe or a Patreon or anything?
Right now, no. We have a Facebook page, that's all we've got. One of the things with us is that we're an arm underneath the museum. And we're trying to sort out a web page for the museum as a whole with us in there and going that as well. But that is one thing that we're extremely looking at is GoFundMe or Patreon. And just got to figure out how to go forward with that.
So what's your schedule looking like?
So again, like I said, 24th of October 2016 is when we brought it in. It's been 3 years now this October. I think we're going to be, because we only work every other weekend, we're actually probably another 3 years out. You know, the enthusiasm, the guys, the volunteers that we all work together, it meant really a bunch of good guys in doing it, no stopping on the volunteer side. The funding side is where we're going to hurt. And we do get donations in that. But we got to get them out there a bit further.
Let's have a look at the turret right quick then. This is C2.
Level
ahead.
1C2, yeah.
Go ahead.
So it's down along here, and if you look along this side here, this is all turret, all gun system. And you can see sitting outside for 70 plus years, the corrosion, what's happened to it. Amazing enough though, the main bearing on the turret itself is right there for the elevations, and that was in between.
that looks a lot better than the turret anyway.
Oh yeah, so that was, we pulled it out, we didn't clean the hard grease, that was it, that's all we took off that piece. So it was in between the two guns on, in between these two pieces here. So for the elevation, and that was it, so.
You did take note of how they all came apart, right?
We take pictures of everything and detail it. That's one thing that we're all a bit nervous about, is not having, oh, where'd that wire go? So yes, we do that. So here's our turret. We did paint it up, it was 2 years ago when we went down to Aquino. One of the things I pushed to get it painted up in the proper color. It's a little shinier than what it should be. We need to have it dulled down a bit. Sherwin-Williams here in Canada actually donated the paint for us. So which is kudos out to them, and I've reached out to them again.
You gave him a paint chip and said, I want Dunkelgelb.
Yes, so actually, one of the guys, and we have a no-tech light here, an original from I think 44 or 43. It's one of the guys owns it himself, and we took that down. They scanned it, and so now it's called Camel Brown. So they actually, if you look it up on, I mean, you want it, it's Camel Brown out of Sherwin-Williams.
All right. Well, I think we spent about 15 minutes almost on this. Any last words you want to put out to the lads in general, lads and lasses?
Look us up on Facebook, Flakpanzer Restoration Project. Like our page. Pass on the knowledge and that we're out there. We're here restoring this. And once I get our donations and that sorted up, appreciate your support.